Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? Nice to see everybody in. Who have we got? Christopher, how you doing? Oh, Christopher, thank you for liking the video. Appreciate it. Ant-Man's in. How you doing, Ant-Man? Corby, Tanner Family Memories. Nice to see you all. Brilliant. Right. So, I thought what we'd do, we'll have a couple of runs on the Isle of Wight route because it received its update this week. So I'm talking about the original Isle of Wight route that has been it's been around for a while now, hasn't it? It's a Rivet Games route, and it's not had any updates as far as I know until this week. So I thought I've reinstalled it, and I thought let's have a look at it, see what's new. Particularly the water textures. So they've taken the water textures now from West Cornwall, which are quite nice actually, and they've put those down near the pier in that sea area just there. This is ahead of the newer modern version that's coming out on the 19th. So it's going to be a separate route, but we'll talk about that as we go along. So let's jump in. Hi Stephen, how are you? Nice to see you. I'm assuming you guys can hear me okay. Let me know if you can't. Black Arrow, nice to see you. Setting up custom routes can be tricky when first learning in TSW. It can be. It can be. Let's get the doors unlocked. Let's have a look at the livery first, because I got this one from Creators Club, which is quite nice. The Island Line 483. So the usual one you get, of course, is the Network Southeast one. That comes with the route. But let me get this all ready to go. That's weird. The seat is up. We'll open the window because you can open the windows while you're still static. If you start moving and open the window, then you got a problem. The engine will stop. Let's get all the lights on. Right, that should be good. Let's have another look outside because we have got the water here. Let me just switch views. There we go. That looks much better. What we need to check is once we get to the first station just over there, we'll just have a look if it's lapping on the beach where the hovercraft beach is, just over there. We'll see if it's lapping onto the beach like it does on West Cornwall. Right, let's go. Ryde Esplanade is next. So what do you guys think? Are you going to pick up the new route when it comes out? It's actually a Loco DLC. So it's actually a 484 Loco DLC. Yet, for it to work, the platforms need hiring. So that's the reason they brought out the new route. These platforms are too low on this route. So it is a Loco DLC, hence the price. I think it's slightly more than a Loco DLC would normally be. They're usually like £11.50 or something like that. This one's $14.99, and you get a route with it. So if you haven't got the original Isle of Wight route, then you're going to be able to get a new route for that price, which isn't bad. Let's take a look outside. I mean, it's a nice little route, this one. It's fairly simple, but it does the job. It's not, Isle of Wight's not a place I've ever visited, unfortunately. But I'd love to go and just ride on this railway. We'll go and have a quick look at that water on the beach. Let's just flick outside while the passengers are getting on and off. Yeah, you see the water is going up and down the beach, which is quite nice. And from the screenshots I've seen of the new version of this route on the 19th, there is actually a hovercraft sat there on that beach. So the coastline, the English coastline, is over there, and the hovercraft service comes from over there, and it kind of lands here on this beach. So they've put that in this time, which is quite nice, because I think a lot of people that know this route said when this came out, you can't have this route without the hovercraft on the beach. It looks silly. So it's good that they've put that in. I didn't know we would get a new route, but nice water and graphics, Black Arrow says. Yeah, it does. And you live close to it, Christopher, right? That's good. So you're southern England then, Christopher. You've not got this one, Corby, right? You might pick up the new one. Well, of course, being an ambassador, on release day, I'll be streaming the new one, the new version. So if you haven't picked it up right away and you're not sure, drop in on Tuesday the 19th. We'll be playing it, so you can have a look at it in the usual unbiased review. Ant-Man says there's a webcam of on YouTube of the hovercraft beach. So that's interesting. It does look like the real thing, doesn't it? This route around that pier area, it does look quite close to this. Yeah, we'll give it a go, Corby. Yeah, we'll see how it is. But like many of these routes, it's this one's quite relaxing actually. It's pretty straightforward. There's not a lot of traffic because there's quite a big single line stretch on here. Once you get out of this next station, it goes pretty quiet for a while. But I quite like it. I spent a lot of time on this when this came out. And now, of course, as I said at the beginning with Creators Club, there's quite a lot of liveries available, so you don't have to stick with the standard Network Southeast. There's a few people on there creating them. You can even get this 483. You can even get it with a very similar livery to the fictitious one that Rivet have put out on the new 484. There's some licensing issues, I believe, with the actual livery of the 484 that is running on this line that they're trying to get resolved. So hopefully it will get some update quite quickly if they can organise that. So this is Ryde St John's. Let's just go back outside again because we've got the platform information systems working. Let's have a look at the one on our side. Quite nice having those working. So that was another thing they did. There seems to be a few more passengers as well, so I don't know whether they've done anything to the passenger volumes. Not sure. I don't think it's rush hour volumes, but there's quite a few, look, coming down the bridge. Maybe it's because I haven't played it much on the PS5, and the PS5 has naturally got more passengers than the PS4 did. Maybe that's what it is. But I didn't see anything about rush hour in the patch notes. Right, we've got to go via next, Smallbrook. Mr. Water, how you doing? Good to see you. It's about half an hour, just short of half an hour end to end. So I thought we'll go this way, we'll turn round, we'll come back the other way, then we can have a good look at it. Rogan, how you doing? Nice to see you. One thing I'm not sure of with the new route when it comes out on the 19th, with it being a low-core DLC, and this will only affect you if you're on console, I've put in a question about the trophies or achievements, because normally when a route comes out there will be a set of trophies for it, but they did say some time back there wouldn't be any trophies for low-core DLC, so this one's going to be a bit of a strange one, with it being listed as a low-core DLC, but it's coming with a route. So I've put in a question about that, and I've asked if it can be answered by sort of Tuesday. They're doing a review stream, aren't they, or a reveal stream next Tuesday on the Dovetail channel, where we'll actually be able to see the new route. So hopefully they'll answer it by then. Corby, you can stick a AC 4400 on this route. You can put anything you want on this route with your scenario planner. Yeah, it's going to look completely ridiculous. It'll probably clip through some of the platforms, I guess, but you can definitely do it. You've just been streaming the bus, Rogan. Yeah, that looks a very good game, that, doesn't it? We can only keep our fingers crossed that eventually, once it's out of early access for you guys on PC, it will come to us, because I think there's a few of us want to play that haven't got access to a PC. Kobe, the thing is, right, that when Off the Rails mode first came out, I did a video with the Class 66 going down the Bakerloo line through the tunnels, and even though it was meant to be a bit of a joke, it wasn't serious. It was actually quite popular. So, you know, players do like to run different trains on different routes, even if it's completely, you know, bonkers. So if you want to get your 4400 on here, yeah, do it. The train might be longer than the route, though. That's the only thing. It depends what you put behind it. You might just have to go light engine to fit it on. Alright, let's get some speed off. Black Arrow says, nice train here in a custom route. How would you pick your favourite train for any route you want? Well, when you go into your whichever route you want, go into your scenario designer. I'm assuming you know how to set up the actual route itself to go from A to B and set your stopping points. Once you've done that, then you need to. There's a button that says Set Scenario Details, and if you go into that, there's an option for Off the Rails mode, and that's the thing that lets you pick any train for any route. And if you set that, carry on to the next menu, and it will bring up a list of every loco that you've currently got installed, and just choose it from there, really. So if you want the Class 47, for example, and you've downloaded 3 different Class 47s from Creators Club, once you've picked it and you've picked the coaches you want to pull, then over on the far right hand side you should see the livery then that you want as well. So off the rails mode and then choose your livery. If you have a look, Black Arrow, I think last Saturday or Sunday, I put a little video on showing how to pick liveries in Scenario Planner. So that might help you. That'll go through the steps I just explained there. Yeah, it should list all the current locos you've got, Black Arrow. We're a bit early actually here, so a minute early. So because this is an electric train, it's very, very quiet. There isn't much sound at all. Just let me turn my headphones up. Noise, but you won't hear anything from the actual 483 itself. The other thing is that on some platforms where you've got people waiting, you can hear voice chatter. But on this one, everybody's silent. You can hear the footsteps, but that's all. Right, let's close the doors. Alright, thanks Christopher, yeah, appreciate it. Hi Dave, how are you? That's a good question. Will it be the same amount of services on the new Isle of Wight? I don't think it's been announced yet, has it? There'll probably be an article early next week, I would say. I think the only article we've had so far is just giving the background to the actual route and what they've done, isn't it? Don't think we've got any details yet on any scenarios or anything like that. You've been doing Bus Sim 21, right? Did you go back and try the original map, Dave, that we were talking about the other night? I didn't realise that original map was in the new one until Peanut mentioned it. It's better than the original, right? See, the other thing about this route is it can be quite scenic in places. If you're going for the collectibles, by the way, you also... It's a bit strange. You also go quite a way to collect the collectibles. There's somewhere around here where you go off up to the side, and you actually walk along. You walk towards a few buildings, and there's a bit of a lake that's got some collectibles, which is a bit unusual. So yeah, there's quite a bit of walking away from the actual line itself. I don't actually know if I've been back and got the collectibles for the PS5 version. I definitely did it for the PS4. Right, we've got a 15 coming up just before Sandown. I must admit, with the new DLC, when it was announced that Rivet was working on a new local DLC, I think the 484 would have been the last thing that I thought of. I thought we might get something possibly for West Cornwall. possibly another BO blue, you know, like a class 50 or something like that. But having another Isle of Wight, I didn't think that would happen. Right, here's the original livery that comes with the route itself, the Network Southeast livery, which is still quite nice. And here's our Island Line one from Creators Club. Kobe says, West Somerset is actually quite enjoyable with all its layers. Feels like a train toy set with heritage units. Yeah, it is, isn't it? And the thing about Creators Club and the layers that have been introduced is that you get a little bit more for your money now, don't you, than you ever did before. I think we said it on the last train sim stream that, you know, some of us bought the Class 52 and the Class 33 on West Somerset because there was quite a bit of DLC for that, wasn't there? But we never got to give it a blast because the 25-mile-an-hour limit. I mean, you could if you wanted to break the rules, but you know we had Great Western Express there, and all we wanted to do was blast them along, and everyone was hoping there would be some kind of like extension put in between, you know, Norton Fitzwarren, where you sort of approaching the Great Western Express there, and the West Somerset, but there wasn't. And so for the longest time, everybody wanted to get on Great Western and give them a good blast. And then the scenario planner came out, and the layers started coming out, and suddenly, you know, doing 520 miles in the Class 52 for one of the trophies didn't seem as daunting as it did at 25 miles per hour, you know. So it really was good when layers were introduced. Made such a massive difference. And to be honest, I bet they sold a bit of DLC. Because there would have been people, because of the 25-mile-an-hour limit, there would have been people holding back on buying some of that DLC because they probably thought, well, I'm not going to be able to use it very much. So they probably always had it in planning. They probably just had to work out how they were going to do it. So you're right, though. It's been a massive difference. Black Arrow says, do you ever need to refuel a train on a custom route? I don't think so. You could, well, you can make it refuel if you drive it to the refueling point, but there's not. I don't think there's a requirement to refuel. You won't run out of fuel, if that's what you mean, Black Arrow. Dave says, with West Somerset, wish they would put the steam sheds in at Bishop's Lydyard. Oh, there's some missing, is there? Yeah. I haven't been there. That's another one I haven't been to. But I know you were saying, Dave, as well, there's a massive Butlins at one end, is there? And that's not in there. And a big Tesco. But I guess that's just licensing, isn't it? Right, we're off to Lake in just over half a mile. Actually, there's no point going into full parallel until you get to about 25 miles per hour because it doesn't do anything. So we're just in notch 2 at the moment. No barriers to blast. Yeah. Oh, it's just actually got a trophy. Going the extra mile. Under which trophy that is. Hey, Crazy Killer, how you doing? Butlins is viewable at Minehead, right? Yeah, I think David mentioned that a while back. Yeah, you would have thought they would have put some buildings in that represented those, even if it wasn't the actual, Butlins, for example. Hello, SNCF, how are you doing? Oh, it is. Oh, you mean it is viewable now at Minehead? You mean after the updates? Got you. I got you. Right, I haven't seen that then. I need to go and check that out. I have played West Somerset once, I think, since it was updated. And I actually ran a steam train from one end to the other. Quite enjoyed it. That that West Somerset course is built for steam anyway, isn't it? Just in real life. So it's great now. Taking the Jubilee on there. Right, let's get ready to go. Hey Michael, how you doing? Good to see you. Oh, it's always been viewable, right? Maybe I just didn't pan up enough like this to see it. Yeah, West Somerset's been crying out for steam trains, to be honest. I wonder if we'll get any more DLCs, though. Be interested to know how popular Steam has been. I bet it's been one of the best ones. The most popular ones, if not, the most popular. I mean, it is possible, isn't it, that some more DLC could come for the Spirit of Steam route itself. Which would fill it up a little bit, wouldn't it? Seeing some additional services going backwards and forwards. I do quite like it though. Spirit of Steam's my new favourite, I think. And I do like the way that DTG made it so that it isn't actually that difficult to drive. It probably would be if you didn't have the fireman on automatic. But just doing the actual driving itself, you soon get into the routine, don't you, of the sequence that you need to do to start it up, get it going, slow it down. It's really enjoyable, actually. Oh, Matt said, did he on the stream? It was one of the most played routes. Right, that's quite encouraging, then, isn't it? Right, let's get slowed down. We're not going to make this 15, but this is Shanklin. Oh wow, got to watch the buffers here. That was close. It's a good job we have good braking. I wasn't paying attention then. I was trying to zoom in so much that I forgot about the end of the line. We were pretty close. We could have been flying through the air then. Where is the PIS here? So it's 9:34. The next one is 10:18. So I was gonna suggest jumping out and waiting and going back the other way, but we won't do that. We'll pick the next service rather than wait for it. I don't think we want to wait around 20 odd minutes, do we, for the next one? So let's go back and pick one going the other way. It was close, Michael. Yeah, and do you know what? I normally I'm overcautious when it comes to that. But in this case, no, I wasn't watching. Shall we do the network southeast livery going backwards? Let's do that. Let's do 9:30. We'll do this one. Shanklin to Ryde Pier. Let's do this one. We'll go back the other way. Let's get everything set up. That's the key. No, I don't want to do that. I want to open the windows. I don't want to do that. That's it. Get some lights on. See, you're laughing at me. They have done the water, Dave. Yeah, you missed it just at the beginning. We had a look at the water. We'll see it again when we get back up there. But yeah, the other thing, they haven't got the hovercraft in this one. The hovercraft is coming in the new version on the 19th. But the water, to me, the water does look quite nice, actually. It's the water from West Cornwall. And it actually laps up the beach as well, which is quite a nice touch. So yeah, it's just under half an hour end to end. It's actually a nice little run. It's one of those routes where you could just jump in if you've not got much time as well, if you just want to drive something quickly. Some of the services are a bit more express than others as well. You don't need to stop everywhere along the way. Be interesting though for anybody who's not got this original route. When the new one comes out, be interesting what the sales would be like of this one. It's going to be strange having two routes that are very similar. The end of the pier should have car ferries, and you can see Portsmouth from there, but they never did that. I couldn't see any land when we looked, when we started off. I couldn't see the land. Now whether they put that into the new one, but you can't see it in this version. Black Arrow says, what's the toughest train to start moving? Oh, that's a good question. Joe, I haven't played it much, but the BR-187 it's not difficult, but it's a bit different. I'd say the 187, and then you can probably also say a couple of the American freight trains as well. Can sometimes be a bit tricky when you have to turn on the what's it called? The I can't remember the terminology. The remote thing, the disp button that controls the locos at the back. That can sometimes be a bit tricky to set up when you've not done it. Banking com, that's it. Thanks, Michael. Yeah, banking com. That can be a bit tricky when you've not run something for a while. But the 187's a bit weird because you start messing around with the screen to get the lights on, and yeah, it's tricky. Yeah, lots of buttons in different spots. When you play a route over and over, it just becomes second nature, doesn't it? You don't even think about it after a while. Yeah, so you say, Dave, wait for the air brakes to build up. So, yeah, so things like Sherman Hill. They changed it, didn't they, on Sherman Hill? But Sherman Hill was... Well, Sherman Hill and Horseshoe Curve, you had to wait a long, long time at first for the brakes. I think at the beginning, Horseshoe Curve, you had to wait something like 20 minutes, didn't you? 20, 25 minutes. So you could have run end to end on this Isle of Wight route and still be waiting for the brakes on the American freight trains to come off. Right, I'm not paying attention to the track speed again. Yeah, same with you, Mr. Watty. American freight trains, they can be a little bit tricky. At the same time, though, it's a good challenge, isn't it? And it's nice when you do get them moving. They're just so long, you know, like sort of over a mile long. Some of those trains, it's ridiculous. I mean, that's a long brake pipe, isn't it? Really. I think it is what it is, Dave. If it's 25 minutes and you're trying, and it's a simulator, and it's 25 minutes in real life, if you want it to be a simulator, you're going to have to wait 25 minutes. You know, a lot of people complain, don't they, that, oh, it's not a simulation, it's a game, and this, that, and the other. Well, you've got to have a balance of both, haven't you? Which is probably why they improved the brakes from what they were, but it didn't bother me, to be honest. I wasn't that bothered. If that's the simulation, then that's the simulation. 11,000-ton train, yes, it's crazy, isn't it? SNCF says the 150 is the hardest to get started. Hey Wheels, how you doing? Will you get the new Island Line route? We will have the new Island Line route. So on the 19th, we'll be streaming it during the day. If you want to come and have a look before you buy it, well, there'll be me and various others will be streaming it. So yeah, definitely come and take a look. And in particular, I'm on the PS5, of course. So if any of you guys have got a PS5 and want to know what it's like, then I'll be on the PS5. Nice, thanks Wheels. Yeah, the 101, yeah, a lot of people don't like the 101, but it's another one of those trains where, well, getting it started is fairly easy, but driving it, you just need to get into a rhythm, don't you, with the 101? It's actually quite a nice train, that's very rewarding. Right, braiding. Yeah, they're both easy, SNCF. The British 101 is fairly easy. Again, once you've used it for a while, it's easy. It's just first it seems a bit more work than the other engines we've got. But you know, if every loco or EMU, DMU, whatever it is in the game drove the same, we'd get bored quite quickly, wouldn't we? So it's good that there's some variety of different things. Yeah, you can go from driving this. This is fairly straightforward. You go from driving this to you know, handling one of the massive freight trains on Horseshoe. So you know, depending on how you feel on a particular day, just pick whatever you want. You bought Hunting Simulator 2 in the PlayStation Store sale. Nice. Am I going to the Southport Air Show tomorrow, Sunday? I don't usually go. Cause I don't need to because I can see most of them fly over the house on the way there. So I kind of get a bit of a private air show. See quite a few of them. The one-on-one's like driving a car. It is, yeah. Not Corby's type of car, because Corby's an American. They drive automatics all the time. Smallbrook Junction. Next. Corby's laughing. You've got a standard, Michael, yeah. Yeah, in fact, you know, I can't talk. We own 2 automatic cars, so I'm a fine one to talk. Hey Mel, how you doing? Nice, nice drone footage on the channel, Mel. There. Yeah, I don't own a drone, but I've always fancied getting one, to be honest. So what do you guys think then about the new route? Are you gonna pick it up, do you think, on the 19th? Has the, you know, if you weren't that bothered about it, as the fact that it's only gonna be $14.99, is that swaying you? Because that's cheaper than a normal route, the usual sort of 25 quid. I think it depends, doesn't it? If you've had this route for a while, and you quite like it, you might be tempted. Oh, you've already picked it up, Michael, so you're on PC, or you've done a pre-order. That's nice. Corby, you're going to check. Wheels is going to check. Yeah. Well, we'll have a good look at it on the Tuesday when it releases. We'll go through what scenarios there are, how many services, etc., etc. To be fair, they'll probably go through that anyway, won't they, on Tuesday on the official stream? But we'll take a proper look at it once it releases. Right, so we're not stopping here. This is a go via, but we've got a 30 miles per hour coming up. Bit strange, two go vias right after each other. Mr. Water, you haven't got the Isle of Wight line, so you'll probably get the new one. Yeah, the new one is the new one's going to be present day. So yeah, depends really if you want the older version or the current. Wheel says, is it a whole new route? It's not a whole new route, but they've had to make certain modifications for the as the rail line did for the 484, which now runs on this line. So the platforms were too low, so they've had to raise the platforms. So they've done that in game as well. They've also put in they've reinstated a passing loop at Brading, which is behind us. We've already been past Brading. So there's a little bit of extra track in there, but yeah, we won't really know until we see it on Tuesday. But it'll be similar looking, but upgraded. Will said, do you think they might add Steam to this route? Probably not. But if you've got Spirit of Steam, of course, you can add your own scenario with Steam. There is the Isle of Wight Steam Railway, isn't there? Is that at Brading as well? But that's not modelled in this. I don't, and I'll be very surprised if they've kept it up their sleeve and modelled it for the new Isle of Wight route. I don't think they will. I think that'll be a lot of work. Plus there'll be licensing and all that to get through. Yeah, the present day is what's making you want to get it, Mr. Water. What routes have we actually got that are absolutely present day? I'm just trying to think. We've got some that are like set in 2015, and we've got a lot of old ones though, haven't we? Like Northern Transpennine, Spirit of Steam, Tees Valley, just to name a couple. I think London Commuter is up to date, isn't it? East Coastway? Is East Coastway up to date? I don't know the area, so I can't tell you whether those trains still run down there or not. I'm assuming they do. They must have done something to the timetable as well, because I'm frequently being early to these stations, which didn't happen before. There's a ticket machine. Yeah, I don't know, Mr. Water, exactly what dates they're all set in. So we'll take another look at the water, Dave. If you're still there in the chat, we'll have a look once we get to this next station. I don't think the ferries will be in. You'd like to see Crossrail. That could be. I think there's a few people want to see Crossrail. Yeah, that could be a good one for them to do, couldn't it? London commuters 2018, 2019. Could be. I mean, I actually don't mind the old stuff. I don't mind the BR Blue stuff. That's my personal favourite era. But what I am pleased about is that we get a bit of a mix. Different types of routes, different lengths of routes, different eras, different countries. Although some people would argue, there should be a few more countries in there. They've said on the streams about the countries, it's sometimes difficult if they've got nobody in the team that knows that particular country and how the signalling works, and for each country they potentially have to create a new signalling system that's not already in the game, and it gets a bit complicated. And I guess when DLCs are getting churned out the rate they normally do, then creating things like a new signalling system is probably the equivalent of Spirit of Steam coming out, because Spirit of Steam was probably in development for years because it was completely different, compared to a normal DLC. So I'm sure they will expand, but they don't seem to have any plans, just now to do that. Right, we'll take a look at the water again. So let me just get to the free cam view. So we got the sort of rise and fall, which is quite nice. There's some detail actually on top of the water, look. Some of the white foam is quite nice. Can't see land over there. Can't see the English coast. That's not there. I don't see any ferries. Nobody fishing off the pier. Anybody eating chips? Nobody's eating chips. So yeah, there's been a few little quality of life improvements, but I mean, hopefully they don't stop there. If they develop other bits and pieces with the other routes that they're doing, it'd be good if they keep, well, with the preservation crew, especially if they keep adding things in to these older routes. Because for a long time we didn't get any kind of updates, did we, to anything? And then Adam's preservation crew started backdating, if you will, all the new stuff to the older routes, which was nice. I mean, who'd ever thought that rapid transit would get an update? But it did. Dovetail should do the Eurostar. It'd be good, that, wouldn't it? Yeah. I'm laughing at you, Dave. Yeah, there's a few tunnels on the Eurostar, but is it 35 minutes? I imagine you do it at speed. I haven't been on the Eurostar either in real life. A lot of people want more of the London Underground. I'm not too fussed about that, because apart from the bits where you're not underground, it will be a bit too samey for me, I would say. I like the overground bits, don't get me wrong. But I think the fact that you can't properly, properly do this and go outside and get a different perspective on the underground, slightly puts me off. Because once you're in the tunnels, that's it, So this is Isle of Wight. Let's just, before we finish, how do I get back to that view? This is it. There's nothing else scenery-wise that I can see. Nothing was mentioned in the patch notes, so there's no ferries, Dave, anywhere that I can see. It's all as it was before. The water does look nice, though. The water was in real need of an update, so it is nice they've brought that. The PIS is nice. There's definitely more passengers. Definitely more. This station was never this busy. But as I said, that could just be the fact that I'm on a next-gen console now. And I'm used to the PS4 version of this, which was slightly lower. But even on the PS4 version, there should be more passengers now than there was prior to rush hour. But there you go. That's Isle of Wight. That's the original Isle of Wight. Looking forward to the new one on the 19th. As I said, we will get hold of that and we'll stream it on the 19th. There's no way on PlayStation to get it before. So on the day, that first look will be the first look for all of us. So yeah, hope you join me for that. Until then, there will be some more streams. Well, there will be some TSW, but of course we've got other things we like to stream on the channel. So just hit the bell icon, so then you know when I go live. I'll be doing something over the weekend. So hope to see you there. Thanks for coming in, everyone. Have a nice afternoon, and we'll catch you all later on. Bye for now.